help that.
I think that speaks to his playstyle.
Yes, absolutely. Um, cool. Yes. So last session, you did some further exploration of this underground chamber dungeon,
We do.
um, as well as defeating, or rather interacting with, a ghost who you were able to um, convince
On.
to combine himself with a sword to make a magical ghostly sword.
Oh.
You also had oh yeah, you managed to avoid the temptation of a partner sword at the bottom of a deep well of water, which is very mature of you, very impressive.
I
Um,
still want it.
We also failed horribly at the caution rats challenge.
that is
I
true.
Wow.
Although I
I
do still contend that we did caution the rats.
The
That's
Yeah.
god,
not about the right thing,
the
though.
gods did not agree, I guess. Yeah. um, Yes, you eventually found your way into this large chamber with three pedestals in the center of the room, and on each of the pedestals there was what looked to be some kind of human sacrifice had taken
That's right.
place. And in the far end of the room was this large sort of barbed, horrific-looking beast-like creature who was appeared to be in some kind of combat or fight with a crew of pirates.
Yar.
Your party immediately leapt to the aid of these pirates. In doing so, managed to defeat this dungeon keeper. However, to achieve that, Dryden gave his life. His rib cage was crushed underneath the sort of large talons of this dungeon keeper, and in a final sort of gasp of heroic breath, he was able to use his fire weapon to just sort of stab through the chest of this beast. So yeah, we'll pick up with the dungeon keeper's body just sort of lurching forward and falls to and sort of crushes Dryden underneath it, and you see, you sort of see the sort of last breath go from Dryden's sort of body as he sort of made that last heroic attack, and then the body just sort of fall down onto him in a clump, and I guess we'll just pick up there.
I rush over. Driver! You know, big dramatic, like slide along my knees along the ground, uh, to where his body is, and start to try and move the body of the dungeon keeper off of him, and probably fail miserably because of how strong I actually am, and it's huge. But nevertheless, try. Um, and I really try to, uncover the body. But I fear there's probably not a lot I can do.
The will of the sun.
If you say that, I shout back over my shoulder. It's not the will of the bloody sun, you idiot! Get this thing off him! Oh, you're muted, Phil.
Yeah, no, I was
That's
shouting
fine.
across the room. But
I,
the,
I saw you try. I saw you talk. I was like,
no. So your arc of believing in the sun. So first day quite strong, started to wane, and then you seem to have fallen out completely now.
sun don't give a shit about us.
Well, of course he does. Otherwise, he wouldn't be giving me my divine powers.
Maybe he
He
gives a
just-
shit about you.
He might not have cared about you beforehand, but now that you're with me, I'm sure he does.
What's
We are just butt players in his game.
what's going on with the pirates?
Yeah, so this crew of pirates, they sort of come dashing over, and they immediately, without really saying much, the captain sort of directs them to move the dungeon keeper, and they aid you, Edwin, in sort of lifting this it takes 3 or 4 of them alongside yourself to sort of really sort of pull up this massive sort of muscular sort of creature that's above it, and they manage to sort of roll the body to the side, and Dryden's body is just sort of sat there underneath, and there's like this sort of grey dust all over his face where he's sort of been pressed down into the floor, and his body's sort of lifeless.
I turn him over to he's laying on his back, and I check for a pulse. I mean, it's just I kind of like just grab hold of him, and just sit there and kind of rest his head like on my knee, and just like look over to Victor, to Maxwell, and to Pring, and goes, "There's something you can do, like help him."
He is a pawn in the Sun's game, and it's the pawn that the Sun has lost, I'm afraid.
He looks over to Pring.
Oh, look at me. Dead's dead.
I put my hand on his head and say, "Now you are with the Sun."
Edwin
I mean-
is like in bits from this. Like,
The captain of this pirate crew, he sort of turns to you, Edwin, particularly. He says, sorry for your loss, but it was rather heroic the way he took down that dungeon keeper."
he just kind of nods.
Yeah,
Um,
the Sun used him well.
Your followers are the Sun as well.
Yes. We are. I am. So is Maxwell.
Then it must be his will that you're here at the same time as us.
Of course. We are but players in his game. We are but pawns for him to move around. He has chosen us to be here.
He sent you after P. Manu and the Gagarax too, then.
Oh, no, we must have different missions.
And your mission was?
The Source Codex.
And as you mentioned it, you see a few of the other crew members sort of respond when you mention the Source Codex in particular. And the captain immediately sort of quiet down. That's a legend.
1 second, folks.
The Source Codex. Many have looked for that. Many have claimed they know the location of such a thing, but it doesn't exist.
Legend or not, I've been compelled by the Sun to come here, so I am here. When he chooses for me to feel that it is not a real object, I will feel that way. For now, I'm just looking for it.
Well, it's not my place to question the Sun.
So, good captain, we've told you of our mission. What's yours?
We were sent here for the Promiser and the Gagarax, the P. Manu. And he points over at this dungeon keeper. He says, that one there, that's the Promiser, but that's the lesser of the two.
So where is this P menu then?
And he again, one of the crew sort of points down at the dungeon keeper, and they sort of gesture that this is P. Manu.
Ah.
The captain speaks up again, and he sort of he tells you there are two challenges to Cedar Mare, and two that seek to corrupt and distract others from his teachings.
Mm-hmm.
The Promiser, the P. Manu, he was one, but Gagarax, the larger of the two, he takes many forms.
Can't help but think that Gaganax perhaps wrote the Source Codex. Um. So how did you know to find the Promiser here?
Cedar brought us here himself.
In a large and weirdly unstable boat?
A fine vessel she is, and very stable when last we saw her.
Hmm. It's going to be terrible when I have to tell them about Dryden knocking their boat over. Um. Okay. I'm kind of keeping a half an eye on these pirates. There's something, I don't know, something not quite right with them, I think. But just putting the rest of my eye and a half over these three pedestals.
That's cool. I'll get you. I guess you can discern realities.
Ideal. Ooh, one question. What happened here recently on the pedestals?
So yeah, as they're having this conversation, you're able to sort of have a little bit of a closer look at the pedestals. So there are 3 pedestals in the centre of this room. Each of them has what looks like some kind of sacrifice on them. You now that you're here a little closer, you notice that there's some carvings or sort of almost art on each of the pedestals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of these pedestals, the carving almost certainly looks like pretty much looks like a carving of the Dungeon Keeper, which is sort of on the floor in the corner of this room. But the other 2 seem to have other creatures carved into them.
Okay, what sort of creatures?
So one of them appears to be looks like a humanoid character. It stood against some other humanoid characters in this carving, and it seems to tower over them. Maybe nothing overly dramatic, but it certainly seems to be larger than the humanoids in the rest of this picture.
Okay.
But other than that, it doesn't seem to have any particular features. They're relatively rudimentary sort of carvings. And the third one seems to have a number of creatures carved around it. You can see what looks to be some kind of like a large lizard. You also see what appears to be maybe a kobold. Some kind of sort of smaller, sort of bipedal creature. There's also what looks to be what you would recognise as a beholder.
That's weird. I was thinking beholder before you started describing them. Okay.
But yeah, and using your own sort of understanding of sort of arcane arts, you would almost get the sense that these pedestals were each used for some kind of summoning, rather than all 3 summoning the Dungeon Keeper.
Okay. So, is there signs that specifically the Dungeon Keeper one had been activated recently?
There is what appear to be relatively fresh sacrifices atop each of them.
Captain, is this your work?
This was here when we got here.
Okay. And how did this was the Dungeon Keeper in the room when you arrived?
He was when we got here. The beast, he was feasting on these bodies on the pedestals.
Okay. Isn't it? Okay. How high are these pedestals?
They stand sort of about 4 feet high. They're relatively high up, but I mean, you know, you can easily sort of reach whatever's atop them.
Hmm.
I poke them to see if they're actually dead.
What the bodies atop each?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, so you sort of poke at them, and there's they're each of them is sort of laying on their back, and their sort of chests are just sort of just almost look like they've sort of opened from within. There's just this sort of like burst out of each of them, but there is no sign of life from any of them as you sort of poke at them though.
Speaking of bodies, just look back round. I seem to remember a couple of pirates were killed by the dungeon keeper.
Mm-hmm.
Are their bodies still there?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to attract attention by going over and examining them. I just had a suspicion they might have been illusions. Okay. It's a good illusion.
So to jump out all the dead bodies in this room.
Something seems to have come out of the chest of the bodies on the altars. So all three of them, do they all three look like it would have happened at roughly the same time?
Yeah, none of them particularly more decomposed than any of the others or anything though.
Any like religion check to see if I know what sort of sacrifice this is from any religious books I read, if I know what the ritual was.
You can spout lore. See how much you know about sacrifices. Not too much, unfortunately. You can mark an XP, but yeah, you
Need to know stuff.
you may have some knowledge of sort of sacrificial rituals, but nothing here seems overly familiar to you. No.
I normally stand at the door.
Could I actually just ask for guidance?
Yeah.
Just ask my god for divine guidance on. Well, I mean, yeah, just guidance, isn't it? 1 second. I'm trying to find where's the button that says to cast a spell. That one. Yes,
Nice.
I cast guidance.
So the hand appears and it appears above the dungeon keeper and sort of almost shifts its form briefly to sort of match the dungeon keeper rather than this sort of large hand.
Yeah.
And then it's sort of using this sort of the cloud that is formed out of it. It sort of imitates like an arrow or something shooting through its own body, and the cloud drops down as if dead, and then reforms in a different shape, and this time looks like a tall humanoid.
So originally I thought that was telling us to climb through the dungeon keeper's body to the next bit. But luckily, that doesn't seem to be the case.
So thank you, Sam. I'm thinking, shooting it seems like maybe so we've killed it, but maybe we need to shoot with an arrow. Other option would be, I don't know.
I think that's saying to us that either it's going to reform into the next creature on the.
Yeah, I just didn't know if we could do a thing to like speed it up or to make it happen, a catalyst, as it were.
Drag it's pretty heavy.
Can I ask Pirate Captain if he's got the right amount of men with him? If he's got like an extra body or anything?
An extra body? What do you mean by that?
How many men did you have when you came in here, in this room?
Myself and 7 crew members.
And how many are dead right now?
2.
2.
2, 3, 4, 5. I see where you're going with that. That makes sense. Right. we've got a body. We've got okay. Looking at the altars, looking specifically at the one with the dungeon keeper on.
Mhm.
It's probably going to be hard to tell with all this fighting going on. I'm wondering if the dungeon keeper actually hatched from within the sacrificial victim.
There does appear to be a sort of a trail of sort of
Mm.
blood entrails which lead from that particular pedestal over into the corner where the dungeon keeper was. Yeah.
Okay, so look at the pedestal with the giant person or the large person on it.
Mhm.
Is there a similar trail?
Other than the sort of gore around the pedestal itself, there doesn't appear to be any trail at all. Actually, no.
Okay.
And which part of the sorry, I might have missed this. Which part of the body did the dungeon keeper come from?
But pretty much like just the abdomen is sort of burst
Okay.
open.
So can I go and inspect the abdomen of the dungeon keeper to see whether it's like starting to bulge or to what have you?
Yeah. No, it seems as much as familiar as you are, I guess, with a dungeon keeper's anatomy. No, nothing in particular you notice about its sort of stomach or its abdomen. No.
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe we should shoot it.
Seems like it's dead to me, but
Yeah.
I have no objection to people shooting dead things.
I will, after sitting for all this time, and can I pick up Dryden's body and like take it over to like the beginning of this room, like out of this room, so that it's not in this area, and kind of then dust myself off and clear my throat, come back in the room, kind of go, what are we doing then?
Hmm.
You
I
said shoot
think.
it, right?
Yeah, shoot it. Go on.
So
I shoot an arrow at it.
yeah, and it's sort of your arrow sort of pierces the sort of thick leathery skin, and just stands out, almost blends in with the sort of spikes all over this creature's body, but nothing particularly notable happens.
Pull my arrow back out. Put it back in the quiver or whatever. Don't have many of them left, so
Equipment.
I'm doing a bad job of figuring stuff out in this campaign.
yeah, me too.
Okay.
Can I suggest, if we're gonna fight another thing, or if that's the plan for us to fight another thing, those of you that have taken a bit of a damage should attempt to heal that damage.
Yeah, I can use some bandages on Maxwell. And myself. That's okay, Sam.
I've a healing potion here with Maxwell's name on it, although actually it says healing potion. But
It's right. I think we healed. I just healed 4 each. I don't know if that's enough.
Yes, four is bandages, right?
Yeah. And so that's 4 for me and 4 for Maxwell.
Cool.
I don't mind giving Victor a cuddle and like as he's bandaged me and do lay on hands.
You can perform lay on hands. Maybe not.
don't squeeze so hard.
You can mark an XP, but yeah, you don't manage to heal him in any way. Your touch is not welcome.
It's hit me harder than I thought.
Okay, who's right? Okay, so Pring's gonna walk round the altars, roll up the sleeves of the robes. I don't really know how that works. Get to about here, hold out his hand. It's Knife, and then look at the party.
I do not have a knife.
I believe it.
Oh, could I pray to the sun and ask what's evil here?
You could.
Yeah, good idea.
When you pray for guidance, either for a moment and ask what here is evil, and the GM will tell you honestly.
Yeah.
Edwin.
Edwin is not evil.
Um, No, the dungeon keeper is of evil origin. Nobody in your party, none of the pirates read as evil. Although you, how does it work when you pray for God? Even ask what here is evil. So you don't get any sort of readings from sort of the party or any of the sort of NPCs in the sort of room with you at the moment. But instead, there is a feeling of sort of evil just in the atmosphere, in the air around you, almost as if you're surrounded by it. Almost as if when you sort of focus on it for a moment in this sort of answer to your prayer, you almost feel sort of suffocated by it for just whilst you're focusing on it. You always have to sort of shake yourself out at the moment. There's just sort of oppressive feel around you of evil.
Yeah, this whole place is.
Everyone noticed I get like battle ready out of it for no reason.
Okay.
Evil's here.
Having got the knife, I'm going to disembowel the dungeon keeper.
Lovely.
Yeah, you have my old short sword. So.
I'm kind of imagining that in the centre of it is an egg where the next thing will grow from, although probably isn't. But so I'm going to try and hack my way.
You sort of pierce into its belly. There's no need to roll or anything. You sort of pierce your way into the sort of abdomen of this creature, and as you do, it's got this sort of like foul, almost like purple blood and innards.
It's always purple.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's this real sort of like its insides are like viscous and almost like sticky as you sort of pull through it, and you can see organs that don't quite match up to what you'd expect in a living creature. But you don't find the egg you're expecting within it. But as you're doing it, one of the pirates in particular comes and sort of stands alongside you and watches what you're doing. And he sort of turns to you and just quite matter-of-factly says, "You won't find me in there."
Whoa. Spin round and back, probably banging into Maxwell. What?
And then that same pirate sort of stares at you blankly, kind of confused by your reaction, your sort of pulling away.
It's like one of the dead corpses on the pedestal.
He spoke to me. He said, "You won't find me in there."
Yeah, did we all hear that as well?
I said nothing.
He looking around it. He definitely did. He definitely spoke. Is it?
Can I do a head count?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Is there the same number of people there?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as you're sort of making that count, Victor, Maxwell turns to you and he says, "How good are your maths?"
Okay. I guess. I mean, I'm guessing that wasn't Maxwell who actually asked the question, right?
No, Maxwell has no recollection of this question happening at all. If you respond to it, Maxwell's just kind of confused about your response.
What is going on? What is happening?
I think there's like a kind of ghost type thing
I pull out the sword.
That, or like some sort of, I guess, a spirit who is inhabiting people. But
Mr. Ghost Sword, is this you? Are you being an issue?
Your sword gives you no response.
Ignis? Are you ignoring me? Have I pissed you off? Excuse me. Tap it a little bit.
And
Is this thing on?
as you do so, another one of the pirates sort of closest to you just turns for a moment and just says, "Get many responses from the sword?"
Yeah, all the time.
And
I'm
again,
just
this
backing
that
away
sort of
from
same
everyone.
pirate just sort of screws his eyebrows, a bit sort of confused at why you're sort of speaking to him.
Maxwell wants to go and halberd cut in half one of the bodies on the pedestals.
I just shout out whilst it's happening, like out loud, "Show yourself," and then like into the room.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you sort of shout out, and there's you hear this sort of very quietly at first. There's just sort of like cackle of laughter, quite quietly. Almost sounds quite distant, and then you hear it echo again, almost as if it's sort of this sort of sense of approaching. And you sort of turn to see coming in from the sort of southern entrance of this chamber, there's a figure sort of walks its way into the doorway, standing sort of quite straight up. His sort of spine, his back is all very straight. Stands almost to attention, getting as much height from his body as he can. As Dryden sort of marches forwards and just laughs slowly.
Oh, for fuck's sake. This pink ring.
The Dark Messiah has returned.
Edward is not impressed.
Yeah.
Has he stopped in the doorway?
Yeah, he just sort of stops there, and he's just stood there, and he's sort of like, it's not even like he's constantly like, just every now and again he just sort of almost just sort of giggles to himself a little, but otherwise his stature, his face, it's quite blank, expressionless, no real sort of sense of threat, no real sort of nothing really.
Right. We're here for this fucking book. That's all we're after. If we can just have it, we'll leave you to your nonsense. It's all good.
And Dryden just takes like slowly a few paces forwards, and even as he walks, he sort of walks with this sort of like it's his every movement as if he's trying to get the maximum height from his body as he can, almost as if he's a stranger within his own body.
Yeah.
And he just sort of speaks to you, almost again slightly emotionless, and he says, "I wrote my book long ago. What use do you have for it?"
I'm a bookish person. I like reading. Is that a crime? Like,
I made this world, its secrets, its rules. What need do you have of them?
well, it's good to know things, you know. It's good to know where you stand in such a world.
Wait, you made the world.
I, myself and others.
The mother?
She made us. We did the rest.
You're the devs.
Foul. Oh. Okay.
Well, you must know why the world was created.
Entertainment, amusement.
Indeed, and we are being sent here by the person who this world was made for. Must be his end game. or one of his missions, and we are just his pawns. So I'd very much like it if you could give us the book and we would get on with our lives.
He would like that, but he never truly understood the real meaning of things.
At this point, I pray to it. I pray to the sun and like kind of be like, "What the hell, dude?" Sorry.
Is this an evil stepdad?
Yeah, I cast guidance.
Yeah, and this hand again sort of manifests itself above Dryden, and you see Dryden actually looks up to it and just sort of just chuckles to himself briefly as he looks up at it. And the hand itself, it sort of manifests itself almost alongside Dryden, and slowly morphs itself to match his appearance for a second. And then sort of puffs out into this cloud of smoke again, and then just sort of begins circling around Dryden.
Would you be circling around? Like the hand is circling around.
Yeah, like it sort of circles around him, almost as if it's trying to sort of maybe like imprison him or something like that, or contain him. It's sort of like almost forming something around him, trying to.
Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna march up to him and try and grab him.
Yeah.
Probably a really bad idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
I'll get you to defy danger with your strength if you're trying to sort of grab at him. And
this is not gonna go well. Actually, it might be okay. Partial success. That's okay.
Yeah, so you're able to sort of grab at him, and as you do, you see that Dryden, you just spot it at the corner of your eye as you sort of grab at him. You see that in his offhand he has this sort of flaming, sort of burning orange dagger, and you just catch it in time that you can see it, and you kind of got a choice of keeping your grasp on him or moving out of the way.
Grasp. My god has told me what to do.
Yeah, you keep your grasp on him, and he sort of stabs the dagger in towards you, which hits you for 4 damage.
Okay. I do my best to keep hold.
Yeah, you just want to sort of grab onto him. Yeah, you sort of you're able, because as you saw it coming initially, you're able to sort of almost, he sort of stabs into you with this dagger, and you're able to sort of knock it loose with one of your hands, and now you sort of have him, and you sort of wrestle at him, and then all of a sudden you just overpower him and sort of drop to the ground, almost sort of on top of him, as this body just goes limp beneath you.
He's moved.
Yeah.
You say that, and I look around to see if anyone else is looking or acting weirdly, I guess.
I will shout out into the sky, like, just, if you don't understand, then explain it to us.
You get no immediate response.
Okay, I'm gonna start. I panic a little bit here, and I go to the third pedestal and try to look for like a way to summon the third thing.
Oh,
Be like,
sorry,
I
give
must
me
be
one
able to...
moment. There was someone knocking at my door.
No worries.
Wouldn't that be neat? I'm so confused at what we're doing.
So it's jumping. This thing is jumping from body to body, possessed Dryden,
It seems to be, yeah. But like,
attempting to get itself formed.
how do we beat that?
Yeah, ghost. Only had a character to do stuff to undead.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's that kind of undead.
I don't think it's undead at all. I think it's the what's it called?
The not the
The devs
yeah.
that made this world.
Do we do something with these 3 pedestals?
Right. So I can't remember which order it was. It was Dungeon Keeper, human, then the other thing, right?
That was the order that they were described to us.
Yeah.
in,
So I'm currently I'm looking at like the other thing. I can't remember quite what it was or what it was called, what they called it, to try and look for a way to see if I can summon it. But really, I don't know. I'm just panicking because yeah.
I'm keeping my back to the wall and watching all of you because one of you is going to turn in a minute.
Whilst you are all doing your thing, paying your attention, I guess. There's Maxwell and Edwin. You suddenly you hear the sort of sound of movement behind you and turn to find the body of the dungeon creeper. Just for a few moments, you see as you sort of turn, one of its hands is sort of just creeping across the ground towards you, and then sort of immediately just drops flat again as you turn and look at it.
I turn to Maxwell and I go, "You should walk forwards. Just keep going forwards for a bit." And I do the same, and I just like go this way.
Whoa.
And don't look. Don't look behind me as I do it. I like make sure to keep looking forwards. And just listen instead to hear if I hear movement from
Yeah.
the dungeon keeper behind us.
You hear nothing in.
Okay, well I'm getting away from these pirates because it's interesting. But I turn back and look now. I'm like,
The pirate captain at this point, he seems kind of confused, and he turns to you guys and he goes, your friend, your party member, he talks after dying often.
we don't.
Never seen him die before, to be honest.
See. Yeah, we'll find out. I kind of call out again. I go, right, well, kind of just wasted our time here now. Like, I'm getting the feeling you don't have our book, so I guess we'll head off somewhere else. Unless you want to make this easy, you know.
And there's at that sort of that threat, that taunt, however you want to sort of read it, you hear the sort of sound of laughter again, but this time it's almost like there's multiple voices laughing. And it replies and it says, you came to play by my rules.
Aim to get book. I don't see a book, therefore I am losing interest very quickly. You want to play a game? Put something in it that's worth it for us.
We are in this game.
Is this creature an NPC, Sam?
Which creature, sorry?
The ghostly thing that's talking.
Yeah.
Can I shout out I am the law sort of thing? And do one of my moves?
You can attempt to, yeah.
Where is it?
Can I shout out for it to reveal itself?
Again, Maxwell shows us the way.
Yeah.
You gain +1 forward against them, so your next roll gets a +1. If it's something against them, and it you get this response, and it says, fine, you can have it your way. You want me to reveal myself. You want to play the game. And rounding the corner, coming into the room, there is this sort of foul, floating, massive eyeball with sort of just tentacle like eye stalks coming off of it, just sort of floats its way slowly into the room.
Oh no!
And the pirates immediately they immediately grasp at their their swords and draw them out.
I put my hand up to try and stop them from attacking immediately, and go, finally, someone we can talk to. My friend, it's been a long day. I'm Edwin. This is the gang. What's up?
Have you already chosen which piece of equipment you're going to ask it to inhabit?
I've got a second short sword.
I ask it Gagarax. Why doesn't the son understand the game?
He responds to you, he says, he tells you, the son, the one you follow, he believes in a lack of free will for the players, for the pawns.
Indeed, and that's why we're here. We have free will.
But that's not playing the game, and that's what he failed to understand.
But we don't have free will because we are controlled by him.
And he this is such a fucking hard argument to go against.
I get you. I understand. Like, I know how stupid this sounds. I know what you mean. Free will's a thing. I have free will. That's why we're here.
That's what the son's telling you to say.
Yeah.
What one that understands the game, understands the point. He'll play, and as he says that, one of these stalks of eyes just shoots this beam of sort of orange light straight at you, Edwin.
What?
And deals you 5 damage.
I was convinced you were going to be teleported away to an arena.
And Edwin, you just as it hits you, it's just this beam of like pure heat, and your whole for just a moment you feel like you are almost if you are inside of like the sun itself, and your whole body is afire, and it almost immediately stops, and you're sort of you are not on fire, but you feel as if you were.
Firstly, what the fuck? Secondly, this is a game I can get behind. Pirate people, yeah, this is the one. Kill. And I command my pirate army to kill this thing.
I'm just thinking back to the number of times at the Magic University that it ends with some tentacled monster and lots of killing.
I draw my ghost magic sword and I charge in, and I would like to do my best to sever said eye tentacle from this beast.
Nice. That sounds like a hack and slash in that case.
I mean, does it have to be a hack and slash?
Well, I mean, it doesn't sound like defend.
I mean, I'll give it to you. It
Perform?
doesn't, but it would be nice if I could use my charisma. Right, hack and slash. That sounds about right, yeah. With my -1. Awesome.
You can take an XP.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you
Your
sort of
dice are as good as
you
your
just
real
sort
dice.
of run forward wildly, trying to sort of hack at that same eyeball, and as you do, it almost just it reaches out with these long muscular tentacles it has, and just sort of swipes at you with it as you sort of run in this rage of yours,
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot.
and hits you for 10 damage.
That's a lot.
Maxwell, yeah, you see Edwin go running forwards ahead of you there, and just get like slammed down to the ground by one of these long muscular tentacles.
Not the smartest bloke, is he? I do my Hulk Hogan thing. And shout him at the name of the sun, I'll end you. Point my
Nice.
finger and I'll run at him.
You were doing +2d4. Yeah, you can run towards him. Pring, you hear Maxwell sort of scream
Thundering through.
some threat at this large creature and run past your shoulders.
Well, now that Lord Maxwell has shown us the way, then just full on magic missile.
Full on magic missile. You know there's other spells, right?
Not that I've learned, or invisibility, which I might use in a minute.
I'd appreciate being invisible right now.
Is that? Oh, great. So, okay. So I have to choose one of those three outcomes.
Yeah.
I will. I don't want to lose magic missile, so and drawing unwanted attention to myself seems tricky, as there's so many other people. I will disturb the fabric of reality. I'll take a -1 ongoing to cast a spell until the next time I prepare.
Okay.
And that was definitely worth it for 7 points of damage.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah, your magic missile sort of burst forth and striking, just sort of go flying over Maxwell's sort of head as he dashes forward and smash into this this sort of beast. Victor, as you see this going on, what are you doing?
I just scream at the top of my voice. The sun commands me, and run over to Edwin and cast Cure Light Wounds. Unfortunately, his wounds are not light, but I cannot cure any more than light wounds. So
I agree, they are not light,
cure
but I'll take whatever I get.
I can cure your light wounds, though.
Yay! Thank you.
Oh, I can't. Ignore that. Apparently, it's not prepared, which means that I may have lost it earlier.
Oh,
And I forgot about
cast a different spell then, I guess.
that. Okay. I run over to you and I hand you a healing potion.
That would do.
Cure light wounds. Can you drink this?
I gave you a healing potion. My healing potion, yeah. And then and then I'm gonna kind of just bash him.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You can try and attack him at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, and as I do it, I'm gonna say something like, "I can't control what I'm doing."
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
You can deal damage. You can do an extra d6 if you want to be attacked back.
Oh, max damage!
I'm good. I was good before I did that as well, just to be very, very clear.
That's cool.
Oh, chunk of damage.
Yeah, you smash into him and do some pretty serious damage, actually. Yeah.
I'm really upset that he's told me that I have free will. I don't have free will.
Really wish I did.
Maxwell, yeah, you sort of come charge in. At the same time, you see Victor sort of come in and smash at this monster. What are you doing?
The sun is making me do this, and I'll hack and slash him with my weapon,
Cool.
with my little thing still going on.
Oh,
that's not good. Maxwell's gonna die.
You can mark an XP, Maxwell. Yeah, and you sort of run forward, and I don't know if it's the sound of you sort of screaming and shouting it on your way in, but it seems almost like it's completely prepared for you. And it just as you're about to reach it, one of the tentacles, it was sort of looking at Victor as Victor attacked it, then just turns and swings round, just stops, pointing at you dead on, just in time for you to see this burst of blue light just come like flying out of the ice straight into you as you approach. And you don't take too much damage.
Maxwell is protected.
Protected by the sun.
Yeah,
I got distracted by Dryden's body in front of me.
you take this damage, and this time it's this it's just this absolute burst of cold, and then you just find yourself you sort of take the damage and you're just unable to move. It's almost like every one of your muscles is just frozen in place. You can't even make a sound. You're just unable to sort of do anything with your muscles. Edwin, yeah, you see Maxwell dashing in, then immediately just stop in place on the spot.
Can I, as I'm laying on the ground having a potion poured in my mouth, I've got my sword that I tried to swing with, my magic ghost sword, and I just start singing to myself, like, there's this hero, his Edwin the Great. He's so really amazing, and this is his fate. An attempt to, I don't know. Am I an ally to myself? Can I arcane art myself?
Sure.
Oh, I don't think I have arcane art because my moves don't exist on my thing. It's just roll plus charisma.
Yes.
I didn't deserve that, but sure. So it still works, but I draw unwanted attention, or it reverberates to other targets, affecting them as well. GM's choice. I am gonna take a D8.
Have you not got like some kind of bonus? I thought from your, is it Eldritch Tones? Oh no, unless you choose more, not actual bonus to that.
Yeah, take 2 of them. So yeah, I'm gonna take a D8 healing.
Mm-hmm.
And 1d4 forward damage.
Okay.
As I'm laying on the ground here, like singing to myself, clutching my sword, readying, like rocking back and forth slightly. Oh, that's 2d8. Ignore that. I'll roll 1. Not bad. That's 3. I heal 3
Which
damage.
was also the first roll, so that seems fair.
Yeah.
Oh, that's alright then. My mouse is a bit over the top. It doesn't seem to click properly anymore.
Yeah, Pring, you see Edwin just stood below this this foul beast, just sort of singing a song to himself.
Visions of Dryden dying under the creature. Magic missile again, because that's all I can do is protect Lord Maxwell.
That's a 7, but still a partial success. Yeah.
That's true. That's a 7. I'll bring it down to a 6 if that's okay.
You take another -2.
I'll take another -1. That's okay. I'm doing damage, but it's really hurting me.
Yeah.
I'm getting such a headache. But
Gonna tear himself apart.
Victor, I guess.
I just don't know what to do.
Yeah, I shout something equally stupid, like "You're just a boss," or like "You're," yeah. Oof. Not the partial success, the dreaded partial success. Okay.
That's all your damage.
Come on, 6. Oh no!
That's
I'm
not
pretty sure
a
that's
6.
like.
I won't
Pretty sure
lie,
that's no.
it's not a 6.
Is that no damage, right?
That is no damage.
Oh,
he's got 2
shucks.
armor.
And you sort of swing at him, and you sort of swing at him, do no real damage, and then just with its whole body, it just sort of slams its weight down on you briefly, and just smashes into you for just a moment.
I look up to sort of one corner, like sort of like looking up to the sky, sort of, but not like directly up. Sort of off to one side, and say like, "What the hell was that, dude? That was a terrible move."
Yeah, he does that. Maxwell.
Can I still not move?
No, you are frozen in place.
He's still not moving.
Am I not prey to the sun?
Every
Thank you, everyone.
you seem to be. You can't make any sound or make any movement, but your brain still works. Yeah, sure. You can make a silent prayer if you wish.
Make a silent prayer to the sun. Please give Victor some aid.
Would that count as an enchantment on him?
Yes.
Can I, seeing him still locked up, next to me, seeing him in that state, sing the opening line to a beautiful ballad about Maxwell's greatness, in an attempt to shake his mind clear of the enchantment. That is apparently one of the things Arcane Art can do that I didn't realise. I will do a charisma roll. Nice. I will shake his mind clear of an enchantment if it works. I don't know if it will, but if it does, and give him +1d4 forward to his damage.
Christ. Okay. Yeah. All of a sudden, Maxwell, you can feel yourself moving, and as if you have +4d4 on your next hit.
Lord Maxwell has overcome the enchantment.
Maxwell, just immediately, all your muscles begin to work, and you find yourself just moving forwards.
Wait, did my Arcane Art reverberate to him last time as well? Or has he got an extra d4 from something else that I don't remember?
Got an extra d4 from...
He's Exterminatus.
Yeah.
I was going to say, he gets 2d4.
And I am the law.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you get... Yeah. Sorry, you get another d4. Oh my god, that's mental. Okay.
He's on
I feel
D10
like he
plus
broke-
4d4.
Like he throws me in my
It's
seat
just
and
got it.
going through. And I can slash him.
Yeah, you just carry on with what you were trying to do before you froze. That makes sense. Yeah.
You can do it. You can't do it. Man.
You can mark XP, Maxwell.
Oh.
Even aiding him isn't going to do anything at this point.
Oh. Ooh, that's
Slow
okay.
rolls is fine.
It's
slow
just
rolls.
not damaging him.
Yeah, so you immediately start
Oh, good
moving
help.
forwards again, Maxwell. And almost mockingly, that same blue eyeball just shoots back out at you again. And
Frozen again.
you again feel this freezing cold across your body, and your entire... it's almost like you just take about one step forward as you were sort of brought out with this freeze. Then immediately, your entire body just freezes in place again, and just every muscle in your body just locks up. Pring, you see Maxwell just for one moment continue his motion, then stop in place.
Yeah, Lord Maxwell is struggling to fight this enchantment. I'm gonna run up to him, and if I can, just pull him back and try and shake him sort of free of the enchantment.
You I will.
Should I go for an aid roll?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Just working out what you. So it's rolled on bond, so it's +1.
Yeah, sounds right.
So that's there we go there. Ooh. Oh, brilliant! That's so worth it.
You can mark an XP. You sort of run forward as you sort of just place your shoulders on Maxwell. You instead just slam his prone body to the ground, where he just sort of hits the floor facing up, and he's almost like just a statue on the ground, facing straight up at the ceiling, one arm in front of the other, mid stride.
Oh crap!
Maxwell, you can't even move your eyes, so you're now just left staring straight up at the roof above you, as you just hear all this sort of commotion around you.
Why are you
Oh
me up?
no!
Victor, you see Maxwell hit the ground as Pring pulls him down for some unknown reason.
It's all the will of the sun, isn't it? So.
Oh no!
Yeah, it is.
That went really well in your head, didn't it?
It
Yeah.
Oh, can I cast a spell, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to cast a spell. Magic weapon to make my staff magical. I'll use it.
Yeah. That's cool.
And then can I bash him?
Yeah, totally.
I would have thought you would have cast it on my sword, but of course it's already magical. So
Nice.
yeah. Obviously, it couldn't
Yeah.
take
You
it.
can roll damage, you get +1d4, right?
Yeah.
good. Roll good.
Does some damage.
It does some damage.
I think there's 8 damage, right? I think it's got 3. It's got 3 armor, or is it 2 armor?
2 armor.
2 armor. Oh, wow, that's 2 damage. That's like. It's got. Wait.
Like some damage.
It's got 1 hit point. It's got 1 hit point left. Yeah. I mean, I'm ready to bash it again, but it should probably be someone else's turn.
That's cool. Yeah, Edwin, you see.
Also, I turn up to the sky and shout, you don't want to get the pirates involved.
The pirates continue sort of dashing over in this direction. Yeah, they are not as heroic as you guys apparently. Edwin, yeah, you see Victor sort of cast this, sort of imbue his weapon with magic, and then sort of swing it down at this this monster.
I go lying on the ground still. As I'm laying down this thing. I go, oh yeah, magic weapons, great idea. And look above my head, my magical ghost sword is there, and I reach back and grab it from over my head, and I go, right, dickhead, now's the time if ever, and I just launch it up to its big middle eye, and just throw it straight at it.
This sounds like you were volleying.
It's a volley, right? Not a sack and slash.
Yeah.
So I roll.
Does that mean you have a better dex score from your response?
It's still not great, but it's better. Do I get a bonus because it's a magic ghost sword?
You don't. You can mark XP as a bonus.
What?
This
bloody ghost is useless.
You throw your magic sword.
Of course it's magic.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, and it magically misses. And just sort of, in fact, I think you sort of throw it and. You don't, rather than sort of like throwing it like a dart, you just sort of toss it, and so you end up with the hilt of the sword just sort of bouncing off the body as the blade is sort of pointing in the wrong direction as you throw it, and it immediately responds by just turning another one of its eyes towards you. It stops for just 1 second, then you just see this burst of light come towards you.
I roll out the way.
And yeah, you feel this. You see this green light come bursting forwards towards you. You take 10 damage, and your whole body almost you just feel infected. Like you feel you just almost as if something is inside of your body for just a moment or two, and it sort of fades again. You're left with just this sort of like just feeling of disgust, like something is not right. Something is within you almost.
Try and catch my sword as it evidently bounces back off the sky and falls down.
Maxwell, you hear this sort of burst of energy, and you can see this sort of, you can just about see a burst of light out of the corner of your eyes as you're just staring up at the ceiling. Oh, 1 second. I think maybe
if you can hear Maxwell, you can hear Pring just screaming your name.
And Edwin
Pring just threw me to the floor and was about to kill me. I was like,
I am literally kneeling by you, just begging you to get up.
And Edwin's just laying there on the floor next to you, just going, fuck.
Oh, what a nightmare.
Yeah, sorry. Maxwell, you are staring up at the ceiling.
I'm still frozen, right?
Every muscle in your body is frozen, yeah. You have your wits about you.
I will pray to my god to let me move.
You can beat it.
Yeah, you can pray, but nothing happens immediately. Yeah, Pring. Yeah, you are stood atop Maxwell as he stares up at the ceiling.
I'm just racking my brains. Is there anything I can do to help him?
Deep tissue massage.
Just try and just slapping his face. Maxwell, we need grab from my belt or my pack the healing potion and just pour a healing potion into his throat.
Yeah, Maxwell, you feel stronger. You certainly feel a lot more healthier. But you are still just sort of stuck in this position, looking straight up.
No.
You see the sort of splash of this sort of like green liquid come over your face, and immediately you feel really refreshed, but still just stuck in place.
Can I swallow, or is it just like there?
Oh, am I going to be really harsh and say you get no effect because you can't swallow? No, probably not. That seems overly harsh.
Splash sprinkle over as I'm on the floor.
Yeah, just drowning him.
It soaks in your pores.
Yeah,
Healing
yes.
that way.
It's like, yeah, when I was younger, you had to do vodka for your eye 'cause apparently it went straight to your bloodstream. So I guess it's something like that, yeah.
He should get more healing. Then.
Don't try that, by the way. It's
Maybe I
horrific.
take damage.
Yeah, not a good
Like,
idea.
He's up as drowning.
Yeah, Victor, you just see Pring waterboarding Maxwell apparently.
Well, I sort of come to the conclusion that if I kill the beholder, that might end the effect. So I'm just going to continue whacking.
Yeah, go for it.
That's a bad
Oh,
whack.
you guys.
Probably dead.
Yeah, you can mark XP.
Oh shit, Victor's gonna die.
Probably. That's okay.
Oh shit, Victor's gonna die.
Yeah, so you sort of swing it in. I don't know if it's the distraction of all this torture going on to the side of you or what, but you don't quite get your full sort of concentration on it, and it's almost like you sort of fail to realise that one of those tentacles is slamming down from the side of you as you sort of swing it in, and it smashes into the side of your head, and just for a moment it's like everything blacks out. What do you see on the other side?
I don't know. So yeah, I mean, I knew I was going to die because I was the only one actually attacking it. So this is fine. Victor's not scared of death because he is just a pawn in the game, so it doesn't matter. The question is, Sam, I guess, is Victor's beliefs about how the world works, the reality of how the world works? I guess nothing, regardless. There's just blackness.
But you don't see a big computer screen or something.
You
Just some man sat in front of it.
I just hear the noise. That's it.
Yeah. It goes quiet for a moment. And then you see you sort of just in the darkness. There's then this sort of booting up sound. I guess the whole everything you see in front of you goes this sort of hue of bluish purple, and you are apparently on the blue screen of death. Can you make a last breath roll for me?
I certainly can try.
Just remember the last two laugh best rolls both been double ones.
And so, do I get any bonus? I'm assuming no.
No, it's just a straight roll. Yeah. Oh, horrific.
Thanks for that.
Jeez. Is that all three last breath rolls that have been rolled in this have all been double one?
I believe so. Yes.
Man, this fucking game, honestly.
We need to get the devs to check the coding on the last breath macro.
And you, you don't feel great, but all of a sudden there's you get this sort of slightly humanoid figure sort of appears before you, and just speaks out to you and says, "Victor, my son, my follower."
Sidimir?
It is I. You have followed me well. And you,
As you commanded. I had no choice in the matter.
and you know as well as any other that you had no role to play in what your final fate would be.
Nope.
But that does not mean that your final use is gone.
What do you mean?
And Sidimir tells you he tells you you each have a role to play in this world, and you understood that better than any other. And although fate, luck, and chance have their effects in this world, it does not mean they are the only rules. I also played my part in writing this world, and your role in it still matters. I cannot change the rules entirely, and the other devs they play their part in the rules, but I can insert enough into the code for you to fulfill your final purpose.
I am but your pawn.
That is
I will
true.
follow you to the end.
And he agrees wholeheartedly. You are a pawn in this game, but possibly the most understanding of all. And you find yourself back with just a small modicum of sort of consciousness and life about you. And as you come back, you see this foul beast has sort of turned its attention round to the rest of your party, who are looking worse for wear, and seems to have its attention off you momentarily.
Can I act?
Yeah, totally.
I'm going to tap it.
Yeah.
Like, get its
It's on
attention.
last.
Yeah. And it all of a sudden, every single one of these tentacles, these eyes, they all just sort of turn and meet you, and almost each of them sort of comically goes wide-eyed and sort of shock as you are back on your feet.
And I just say, I am a mere pawn as I smack it one.
Nice. You can.
Nice.
Yes.
I
Do you
roll.
want to take your plus 1d6?
I'll take my plus one. I'll take that because that's totally fine. Take the damage and also plus one a 1d4 the magic weapon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If that's still going.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Talk us through it.
I just say, I am just a pawn, and two-handed sort of like overhead staff strike straight into the center eye, and just like manage, I guess, like hit it so hard I managed to like pierce it as if it was like being stabbed or something, but and then kind of go straight through, and then as it kind of like starts dying, like we both sort of collapse together onto the floor.
Yeah.
Assuming this is my moment of dying, right?
This is your moment, but it seems you had one more role to play. Yeah.
Indeed, one more hack slash roll. Right. So that is definitely So I hit it, and then we both sort of like as it collapses, I collapse as well, like having spent my last amount of breath, and we are both dead on the floor. It with my staff still sort of like buried in its eye, and oozing green blood, I guess, and me, just completely dead beside it.
Maxwell, you suddenly find yourself almost running on the spot. You're sort of laying on your back on the ground, but just for a moment, almost from the perpetual movement, your legs and your arms carry on, and then you're able to just sort of lift your head just at the right moment to see Victor's body sort of slump down to the ground.
I feel like, unlike Drygen, Maxwell kind of goes into a fit of rage and just starts smashing the dead corpse of the creature.
Yeah.
Just like constantly smashing it in anger. It's probably a moment of losing a little bit of safe, saying, "Why, son? Why?
Mm.
Why leave me alone?" And just like smashing it.
My
Like,
lord, you're not alone.
Tears pouring out of Maxwell's eyes. and
We
everything.
we are here.
Edwin has turned to Victor's body and is attempting to do anything he can to try and breathe some life into this guy.
Oh, come on, you're happy I'm dead.
Oh, he's not. He doesn't like people to be dead. Doesn't follow your beliefs. Doesn't mean he wants you dead.
I suppose if I'm dead, I can't be your whipping boy.
Exactly. I can't write songs about you that are mocking if you're dead. That's just rude.
It's not libel once they're dead, though, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, there's a couple of songs you can write.
Yeah, you run out of material quite quickly.
Talking of famous people who sing songs, Sam, what the hell is the Janet Jackson thing all about?
Yeah, I need to ask this as well. What the fuck is going on, man?
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Come on.
Just why? Why?
If you have the audacity to completely ruin my timeline, which is usually very trimmed, with just constant random things that say Janet Jackson on them, I don't understand. Then you can tell me why.
Is it any consolation if I tell you that I genuinely don't know either? Somebody else I know just started replying any time somebody replied to one of these random meme questions on Facebook with the answer Janet Jackson, and he has been doing it for like 3 or 4 weeks to the point that it started amusing me so much that I just started doing the same. But I genuinely haven't asked him what the reasoning is. It just amuses me, and I get really bored.
Fair enough. I get
I'm sorry for the lack of concrete answers.
That's absolutely fine.
If you ever find out, though, we need to know.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Because my timeline is usually like fairly empty because I hide almost everything I have on Facebook because I just don't want a long big timeline. But now it's because of that, people that I do have on Facebook that are unhidden get spammed a lot.
Right.
And so now I've got like loads of spam for that. Also, I think it's terribly irresponsible to take your daughter to school when she's only 6 months old.
Yeah, this is true.
Huh? Am I confused about something?
Well, it's only been 6 months since you had a daughter, so I don't see how she's going to school yet.
I can't help but agree with
They
you.
grow up so
Oh,
quickly.
I see. Sorry, I was really confused. Yes, I see what you mean. It does go very
At most,
quickly.
it's
Yes.
been a year.
It does feel like that way at times. Yeah, it's kind of mad.
It's completely crazy.
I have no shame in admitting it was actually quite weirdly emotional. It was very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun.
No, I think it would be it's pretty amazing. I just saw it. I was like, what the hell? That can't be right.
Yeah, no, it's true. I've checked the birth certificate. She is almost 5 years old. It's
My
madness.
goodness, that is completely crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Edwin, you try to shake life back into Victor's body, but he seems motionless, and it seems like there's quite his eyes. He looks quite peaceful. Like he doesn't look like he doesn't look like he died unhappy, I guess.
See, like a smile on his face in completing, I suppose, his
That is the
master plan.
happiest corpse I've seen for ages.
Well, it's not
Yeah.
a smile. It's just there's no
There's
happiness.
peace. There's peace.
Yeah,
Like,
peace. Yeah, that's right.
You did what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, I followed.
You're
I followed the sun to the end of his usefulness for me. So that's absolutely fine. I actually need to. I'll be back in a second. I mean, someone downstairs, Heather wants something, so
No
I'll be
worries.
back in a tick.
No worries.
Whilst he's gone, I shit on his corpse.
That took a turn.
You might want to check whether his staff is still magical.
Well, it's not going to be now he's dead, is it?
I suppose
Magic
that's
weapon's going to have faded. But it's fine because I've got a magic sword. Oh, wow.
I
Yeah,
think-
the
I very
three of
much
you. What do you want to
thought
do? I guess the three of you that are.
I very much thought I was going
I'm just going to turn. I'm going to turn to Lord Maxwell and ask him what next.
Oh, Maxwell's just slashed this dead corpse up.
My lord, it's. I think it is dead now.
Is it dead?
Looks dead. It's pretty squishy.
I check it to see it's not still alive or anything.
Probably is after I've been slashed it to pieces.
I mean, it doesn't take any more damage as you attack it.
There's going to be a third creature in the other corner.
Does look that way with how the map's set out, doesn't it?
I think it was
before
multiple
we go,
creatures.
I'm guessing Maxwell will do some sort of ritual on Victor.
Just some sort of ritual.
I'm guessing if we did anything to the church about when they died.
I already did the ritual to it, mate. Don't worry.
Horrific.
Just take a
what's
quick
going
look
on
at this
with the
third pedestal.
Yeah.
I seem to remember it was kobolds and other creatures.
Kobolds and a beholder, right?
Oh, we've had the beholder.
Yeah, there's kobolds, something else, and a beholder on the third. Right?
I'm back. Not that it matters because I'm dead.
I
Oh,
back
you're in
not
a
that
special
matters.
position now.
Because I'm dead. That's my surname.
Maxwell put
sorry.
you in a special position in the corner.
What's the position?
Whatever you told me to do in the religion.
Okay, cool.
Far too late for the recovery position, presumably.
Yeah. I guess it is like the recovery position, in case he isn't dead. And I bet
Just in
Vic
case.
taught that to me. You know, to put him in some sort of position where is that in the corner.
I believe the correct religious term is save point.
Yeah.
As
So-
as I come up to these pedestals, I like call out into the room.
Mhm.
Like, well, we played your stupid bloody game, so where's the book?
Third one to fight.
And there is there's once again the sound of laughing, but the voice is slightly different than before, but also slightly familiar. And you turn yourselves to see Victor's body slowly rise up, and again sort of stands perfectly straight, almost as if there is something trying to break out of it, almost as if it's like containing something inside of it that doesn't quite fit inside of it. And it's Victor's body sort of steps forward briefly and says, This one understood the world in his own way.
He did, yeah. You're not wrong. We played your game.
Well, I'm here.
We won.
Strike me down.
I have
Can
no
do
intention
my,
of doing that.
My I am the law and tell him to get out of Victor's body.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Please.
Nice, yeah.
Really angry.
So, it gets to choose, doesn't it? So it has to do what you say, back away cautiously, or attack you. Yeah, and Victor with this body just dashes forward, Maxwell, and sort of swings its staff, which is picked back up at you. Yeah, and does some damage to you. You have a choice if you want to attack it back.
I will say sorry, my good friend. I cannot let your corpse be.
Used as a puppet, like your live body was.
And I will.
That's
When
a bit
I put my
harsh.
thing up, I'll change it to him.
I don't think it's harsh. That's a compliment.
Can I have that up as well?
Yeah,
Obviously it's
sure.
silver Anyway.
Yeah, you can roll your damage. You don't even have to hack and slash because so you can just roll damage.
Fair bit, you know.
Yeah, and you sort of swing your weapon down, finally dealing damage after however long you've had all those bonuses stored up.
Yeah.
And yeah, you sort of smash down at Victor's body, and it immediately just sort of slumps down to the ground.
Mm. When it smashes down to the ground, just try. Is there any sign of sort of a spirit moving around, or
You don't see anything at all, no. And then almost immediately, Dryden's body again gets back up to its feet, and it now steps forward and says, "Play the game."
What's the game?
This world, this entire existence, you play the game constantly.
Okay, then how do we win?
Strike me down. Defeat the monsters.
We tried that. You came back somewhere else. We're playing the game. What more is there for us to do? Like,
Guess there's a good bolt to kill.
Spring's going to move round the altars to the one behind Maxwell, and then going to step up onto the altar.
Okay.
I don't know why. It seemed like a good idea.
I see him do this like out the corner of my eye, right?
Has he like
Step
crawled
up,
into a dead body?
I step up onto the one next to me.
What was that, Maxwell?
Have I got to climb up into a dead body now? Oh, go on the other one.
I shout, "You want to play the game? Be my fucking guest. What have we got to lose, eh?"
I'd love to know what
Like
the
in
pirate
Fear.
captain thinks.
And yeah, one of the pirates sort of grabs at Dryden's body. Dryden just, again, that sort of flaming dagger again, just sort of stabs in, and the pirate sort of drops down to the ground, sort of bleeding out. And again, Dryden just takes a few steps forward, and then slumps down to the ground, and Victor's body gets back up, and he steps forward again, and he says, "Why won't you play?"
I take an arrow and I shoot it straight at him.
Sure, you can volley. I like that none of you are attack Dryden, but every time it's Victor, you're happy to smash away. That's horrific.
Victor was my friend. I can't see his corpse be.
Yeah, I'll lose an ammo.
So you're happy to mutilate me instead?
Yeah, and again, Victor's body just slumps down to the ground.
I'm ready another arrow.
I'm trying not to intervene because obviously I'm dead. But like, have any of you asked who this person you're talking to is? That might help.
I feel like Maxwell is absolutely distraught right now. He is not thinking straight.
I wait for the next one to pop up, basically.
Bring his.
Lost his life partner.
That's something I didn't know.
This is developed.
Pring, I think, has lost most grip on reality and is now just focusing on Maxwell as the saviour.
And Dryden, again, now his body sort of gets back up, and he steps up now, and he's almost sort of stood right between the three of you in the middle of these three pedestals, and he just sort of keeps turning and looking up at each of you and sort of taunting you and saying, "Play the game."
I try and cut Dryden's head off.
Yeah, sure, you can hack and slash.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, sure, roll your damage. Yeah, 13 and a 10. Yeah, Maxwell, you sort of swing your blade and you just lop Dryden's head off in one swoop. And again, the body just sort of limps down to the ground. And then just after a few moments, the eyes just sort of open for a moment and say, "You just couldn't help yourself, could you?"
Like, something is off about this. Can
Yeah.
I try and understand, like, what he is trying to... Because I, Jake, am not understanding what he's getting at. But can Edwin try and understand what he's getting at when he's saying these things? Is that a thing I can do? Like,
Based on your you've got bardic law on like the grand histories of the known world, right? And you were the
Yeah.
one that brought everyone on this search for the source
Yeah.
codex.
Thanks for the reminder.
Exposition time. Yeah, you almost as this is going on and you sort of puzzle over what is happening. You sort of think back to the stories of the source codex that you were aware of, and you sort of recall that there is the stories of the source codex talk about it being a grand secret about the nature of reality. And about the freedoms that people do and don't have in this world.
So this is it. This is what we're after. It's just... It's not a thing. It's
So
this.
Well, it's the knowledge. It's just knowing it.
It's a game, but we get to play.
Yeah, and it sort of it sweeps over you, Edwin, that maybe the source codex, rather than being a physical item, is the knowledge of the nature of the world, and the disagreement between its creators over free will, or the need to do as maybe the world or the adventure writer would will you.
I kind of sit back as I realise this sitting on the dead body behind me, the mutilated corpse. I'm like, shit. It's all a game. Everything. It's all a bloody game.
And
We're all just someone's fun.
at this point, Victor stands once again, and that same voice says, "Play the game, attack."
I don't want to.
It seems trite, but perhaps the only way to win is not play.
Yeah. I refuse.
Why else are you here?
And I
Why do
pray
we do
God for
anything?
The guidance, even though I don't have it, and ask him what he wants me to do. Is this being evil?
Yeah, Max. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Maxwell. You, almost if like one last time, Victor's this hand of Victor's that has been guiding you previously, appears and almost sort of appears at your side and holds your weapon to your side, almost willing you to not participate, to not be taunted into action by this creature, this sort of whatever it is taunting at you.
I sheath my weapon then.
Yeah, and this voice that is inhabiting Victor almost becomes angry at you all for a moment. It says, "Why won't you play?"
No point, is there? We don't get anything out of it.
Then why else are you here if not to participate?
Well, it seems to be pissing you off an awful lot, and that's good fun.
And
My lord,
Go
should my lord, should we leave?
Yeah, let's just go.
Come, Edwin. Lord Maxwell has spoken.
I
Yes,
pick up Victor's
quite.
body. Oh, wait, no, is he in Victor's body still?
He is at the moment, yeah.
I type Victor's body.
Tie up Victor's body. Sure.
Just hold its hand and walk him out.
And like say put him like a sack that I may have as my other item, and just like put him in a sack to take away to bury.
I put Dryden in a body bag, which would be one of my adventuring gears, I guess, so that I can bury him.
I love that one who eventually gets a body bag.
Yeah.
Let's just say Edwin knew that there was some trouble they might be getting into. He had a secret that
Let's
Pring didn't
just-
know. It might have been that it was really dangerous.
I think Edwin has revealed his secret that it's all a game. Which, to be fair, wasn't much of a secret because Victor's been saying that for like the whole adventure.
Yeah, and as you sort of as you walk out of the room, Maxwell, leading the way with Victor's body, the sort of the whole sort of landscape around you slowly sort of begins to fade out, almost as if none of it around you is there. And it's almost like you can just spot the nature of reality, the nature of the world sort of changing around you. As you find yourself sat around a table with 5 players, 2 of which probably at this point looking quite bored and like they are not as involved as the rest of you.
Man, that was a good game.
Look over at Maxwell. Well, my lord?
Guess we go and bury our bodies.
Just to be clear, the other 2 players are definitely not dead, Shane. Please
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah. Well, Surely one of them has left
Will be.
to go and play a different game.
Yeah,
After
one of
this
them's
playthrough.
definitely going sat like an Xbox on the other side of the room or something. Yeah, he's definitely lost his attention span at this point.
Just
Be on
gonna.
mute still.
This is so this is like the Who Shot whatever it is, Who Shot JR. It was all a dream at the end.
Yeah. Just.
What matters is the friends you made along the way. Right?
Did we?
Just taking a couple of minutes to try and get Pring out of my head and the reality.
The question is, who are you? Who are you role playing now?
That's a very good question. That's always the real question.
We try and
Oh.
go back on Dryden's head.
You could. Luckily, he is not actually beheaded. That seems to just be a side effect of the game reality, and certainly not the real reality. Unless I'm going to get horrific discovery in my living room in a moment. But, hopefully
Oh.
not.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Just before the illusion completely fades, Lord Maxwell, should we perhaps defeat this final end level boss? Looking towards the end of the table,
Is it walking away like
picking
actually
picking
winning?
picking up a pencil.
Yeah.
Rubbing
I
it
have my clicky clack dice rocks ready to go. My math rocks
Just-
are ready to kill.
Yeah. So Edwin and I lock eyes, and then we look at Maxwell, and it's just say the word, Lord.
Sam. Got about 50 different dice. I'm ready.
you.
These D4s hurt. That was good fun.
Yeah, and I guess thus ends your Dungeon World campaign.
Or does it? Because they've got that little niggling thought in the back of my mind that this is the illusion, and now
Yeah.
Once
So
you've
will
seen
I.
the Matrix, you'll never look at the world the same way, right?
yeah.
What's wrong
Oh.
with that?
I want the blue pill. Put me back in the imaginary world.
Sorry, Jake, you're stuck in the real world at this point.
That was incredible.
It's rubbish. I hate
I
Oh.
think Incredible's kind, but
Well, that is really good. But
That was
by the way,
amazing.
Gygax, was that like a play on Gary Gygax?
yes.
Yeah.
it
I
was.
did think it might be.
Depending on the pace we moved through things, I had a few other like game developer based characters that I would potentially introduce, but I didn't because I didn't know how fast things would or wouldn't sort of move through. Sort of.
Who was the dungeon keeper name?
Peter Molyneux. It's Peter Molyneux.
Ah,
Okay.
Um,
I did forget that.
Hence the nickname the Promiser, because a man that can't follow through on his promises. It was tenuous at best, but you know, I'll take the
That's
credit
great.
for it.
No, it was great. It was really good.
oh,
Cool.
And you said you had no prep.
No, I had a vague idea of what I was to do tonight, but like today at work was just an absolute bonfire.